More now on one of our top stories about the woman who was attacked by 3 pit bulls in Douglasville yesterday. 56-year-old Frankie Forsch was badly injured and has a long road of recovery ahead of her. And she talked to Fox 5 today just after being released from the hospital.
3 pit bulls came out of a yard and attacked me. And by the grace of God, there were some neighbors at home who helped beat them off of me. I have many puncture wounds on both my arms and my lower calf, and I will have to have some skin graft on my face.
The attack reignites the debate over pit bulls. Are they more dangerous than other dogs? And does more need to be done to control them? Joining me now live to talk about the issue are 2 people who feel very passionately about this issue. Please welcome Dr. Mark Wolkin. He's a surgeon at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta who has operated on victims of dog attacks, and Amy Santos with Pit Bull Rescue Central, and she owns several pit bulls of her own. Thank you both for joining us tonight. Amy, I'll start with you. I've never met a pit bull, but certainly when you see these kinds of stories in the news like that of Mrs. Forsch, and you see the damage that they can do, I'm terrified. I don't want to meet one. Convince me I should change my mind.
Well, I would like to point out that the world's first facial transplant patient was mauled by her Labrador Retriever. Any breed of dog can bite and do serious damage. In 2001, a Pomeranian killed a 6-week-old baby. It all goes back to the root of the issue, which is a people problem. It's irresponsible owners that either don't supervise their pets, their children, or pay attention to their surroundings to find out the proper way to manage their animals.
Now, Dr. Wolkin, you're there at Children's Healthcare, and you see the damage firsthand that these dogs can do to people, especially children. Do you buy this, that it's not necessarily just a pit bull?
Well, I think that there is a difference with the pit bulls. In the last 2 years, we've seen 56 dog injuries that were so severe the patient had to be admitted to the hospital. So this doesn't count just a little bite that goes to the emergency room. Of those 56, 21 were pit bulls. And then when we look at our data even further, of the kids that were most severely injured, those that were in the hospital for more than 8 days or had life-threatening injuries, 100% of those were pit bulls.
Now, Amy, you own pit bulls and you rescue them. I was reading that it's not necessarily a breed, so what are they? What do you classify them as?
There are over 25 breeds of dog that are commonly mistaken for pit bull terriers. The actual breeds are the American Pit Bull Terrier, the American Staffordshire Terrier, the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and pit bull is an all-encompassing term that refers to any mix thereof of those breeds. So whenever you're looking at bite statistics or
right, because all dogs bite.
Right. But when you're talking about pit bulls, you have to break it down by the 4. But then the 4 breeds I just mentioned don't encompass anything that might be mixed. And one of the main issues that we're seeing with pit bulls today is people are trying to breed this bigger is better is badder pit bull, and they're mixing in mastiff into these bloodlines. You're taking a dog that was specifically created to guard against people and mixing it with a dog that by nature is supposed to be really good with people.
Right.
Pit bulls originally were supposed to be great with people.
Right.
So
really?
when they yes, because when dog fighters would put dogs together in the ring, they had to be able to pull them apart, and these people had to be able to take their prize fighters home with them, and they lived inside the house with the children.
Now, Dr. Wolkin, I know you have really strong feelings about pit bulls and how they should be, perhaps law should be passed to sort of regulate them, maybe dangerous pets.
You know, ultimately, that's up to the people of Georgia and our representatives in the state legislature. But there does need to be something done to protect kids. You know, oftentimes these are neighbors' dogs. They're not properly locked up. I'm not going to take the blame off the owners. I agree with Amy that there are irresponsible owners. But when you have a pit bull, you have to recognize that your dog is more dangerous than others. I mean, the data speaks for itself. Half the dogs out there are not pit bulls, yet almost half the major dog attacks that we've seen at Children's have been from pit bulls.
They tend to be more vicious.
Very much so, usually to the face and head.
All right. Dr. Wolkin, thank you very much for being with us, and Amy Santos, thank you. We'll have much more on this certainly in the days ahead as more cases come about. In fact, Dr. Wolkin mentioned that he had a call about another mauling on his way in, so he's going to head back over to the hospital. We thank you for being here.